Yes.
All right, there you are. Hey. All right, yeah. So who gave you the keys to Underwater World?
Oh, I just found the picture on Google Image.
I was thinking you were gonna come on with like prison bars behind you or something.
I have other ones.
All right.
Nice.
Well, yeah. Good morning, Major. Thanks for joining us. You know, you guys, any followers, listeners containing COVID, Major Aguon was a regular on the show, so we kind of wanted to bring him in because we haven't heard much about the prison over the last few weeks. You know, we were on leave.
Yeah.
You might have heard. So, Major, just go ahead. We'll give you the floor. Just give us the latest with the Department of Corrections.
Okay, good morning. Well, since the last time we talked, we were able to bring on additional 11 officers for our recruits. So currently we have 23 officers going through recruit training. That brings our total up to officers of around 213 officers that we have on board now. Public health will be coming in today to make an assessment. They'll be walking through with management of the facility. We are in the phase working on setting up to test the staff and the inmates in the next few weeks. So they're coming in today, do a site visit, and work out our operations plan.
We may have a lighter part. So mine is almost like 6. Joe?
Okay, it sounded like somebody was
Hello?
in the background. Are you there?
We're Major. We got a Zoom that's not muted out there.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Major.
Yeah, you there? You were mentioning today public health was going to be going out there to do some assessments as they prepare to do mass testing of staff and inmates. Can you tell us a little bit more about what was there something that prompted that?
No, not necessarily. As of now, we still don't have any inmates that have shown any symptoms of COVID. As you know, we did have 2 officers in the past that did test positive. That has been cleared up already. They are back to work. From the beginning, the director has always wanted to test the inmates, but again, we're the community. I bet public health had to deal with the community first. Now we're looking at moving into our prison population, just as a precaution. Again, that it's something the director has been pushing for, and public health is now willing to address our inmate and staff officer population. So again, they're going to be coming in today, doing a walkthrough, looking at our sites where we can stage this, and from there we'll develop our plan and execute that plan.
How many inmates are at, and this includes pretrial detainees?
Yeah, this is going to include everybody. So right now our population is around 635. That includes about 130 down in Naganya. So we're going to do all of them. We're going to at least provide it to all of them.
Okay. And staff, how many staff?
220. There's 25 staff, including the parole officers and civilian workers.
What about
again, with the inmates? Again, this is we cannot mandate that every inmate take it, because as part of the testing process, they have to sign a consent form. But it's going to be offered to everybody, and we're pretty confident. I think most of the inmates will take the test.
Right. Major, I know when we had spoke a little while back, you had said one of the concerns about testing the inmates was that if you get some positive hits, you then need to segregate and isolate these people. And you had brought up that there were space issues, obviously, at the prison that may prevent you guys from doing that. So has that been resolved? Is there any kind of program in there? Or, do you guys do anything, move stuff around, or just in the event that you do get some positive cases?
Yes, I mean, we've identified one of our other units called Post 7. We got that unit up and running, some repairs to it, and now it is fully functional.
what's the capacity on Post 7?
About 40. It'll take about 40.
So
40 people.
All right, so how does this work? Are you going to test them in, I guess, waves? Like you test 40 and then those 40 go over to Post 7 and wait out for however many days? or just test everybody in one shot?
No, we're at this point again, we're looking at doing it unit by unit.
Okay.
Yeah, so the housing unit, we would, wherever we set up our testing center, the inmates would come down and in groups, 10 to 15 at a time, be tested and returned back to their unit. And again, the good point of this, the good thing to mention this time is that no one is really showing any symptoms of this. So, hopefully they're all negative. But again, if in the event a result does come back, we do have an isolation unit to move them to.
And how many people can fit in the isolation area?
Right now, about 40 of them.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's the post 7.
That's at post 7, yes.
That's the post 7. Okay.
And that's 40 with social distancing and all that, Major?
Well, I mean, post 7 has 4 different wings. I mean, there's different individual cells, but we try our best to separate them as possible. But the reality is that they're still in prison, and it is a challenge.
Right. What about contraband and the incoming? What's the status on that? Are you guys still getting people throwing ice over the fence?
As of the last 2 weeks, I don't recall any major contraband. Sometimes we do our shakedowns and we find nuisance contraband, excess items. Copenhagen tobacco products has been the big one. As far as incoming, we are working at another plan for, I believe, the first week of August to have incoming, a drive-up incoming like we did last time. And so we're just working on the details to finalize that plan, and then information will be going up to the inmate population soon.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to go back to the testing. Say that you conduct all the tests of the inmates and the staff that are currently at DOC, including the pretrial detainees, and say they're all negative. What happens when you have an arrest and you bring in somebody into DOC? Are they going to be tested as well to keep COVID out, or to ensure that COVID doesn't come in? Or
Oh, they didn't think of that part.
No, I don't think we're going to be able to do that because the arrestings, it fluctuates.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's 5, 6, 10 people within a 24-hour period. The time and everything fluctuates of when they come in. But, one of our, ideas is to train our nursing staff to be able to test. Now, whether or not that's going to be, they're able to do that at this point, that's something we still need to work out with public health moving forward.
The tests that are going to be conducted, are they PCR tests or are they serological tests?
It's this. I believe it's the same one they're using in the community.
Mm-hmm.
The Q-tip test.
Where they swab you, yes.
Okay, up your nose. Okay.
So you got to say it, Breed. That I don't even know what is serology.
That's the blood test.
Serology is they poke your finger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe at this time it's going to be the swabbing, the same one that they use on the community outreach.
Right.
Okay.
Right. What about so if you have these people coming in new to the prison, Major, what if you did like a quarantine? You have an area where, hey, you're new, we can't test you, but we don't want to put you in with everybody that we just cleared, so we're going to go stick you over here.
Well, right now, with all the new arrestees, they all go to Agana. So no one comes up to Manila. Everyone goes to Agana. We do have an isolated area down there where we try to keep all the new ones that are coming in for at least 14.
How realistic is that?
Longer than that?
There's not a lot of space down there, right, Major? How much space you guys got? And these stupid people keep committing crimes and getting arrested.
Well, we have moved some of them, up here. We've identified 2 different blocks down there where we can put them. We used a bigger block for the overnighters and the ones that recently got arrested. And then after if they get court committed, and then they're going to be here longer than 14 days or in excess of 14 days, they are medically screened and medically checked again. Temperatures are provided every day. They do their temperatures on the inmates twice a day just to make sure. And eventually, after a certain period of time, they are moved out of that area and to another part of the prison.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys been seeing an increase in I guess confinements over there at DOC and arrests and overnighters. Because I was just we were just talking about the magistrate's hearing that I listened in on last week, and it started at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and I didn't leave work till like 7:30 because it was still going on. And I just listened in to the cases that I was looking to get an update on, but it was still going past 7:40. So you're seeing a lot of people coming in.
I mean,
An
our
increase?
numbers, like I said, we're looking between 10 to maybe 15, 16 people within a 24-hour period that are coming in, overnighters, as we call them. And they're being, some might get released on a notice to appear, but quite a few of them have been going through magistrate.
Right.
And then from there, the judge will make the determination whether he's going to commit them or release them on a conditional release. So, I mean, the numbers have been pretty, I guess we're going back up to pre-COVID times now because the numbers are kind of getting up there again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, back to normal.
And a lot of it is for possession. You see a lot of drugs,
Yes.
arrest, license plate. I've seen quite a few license plate and fraudulent use of license plates. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was just saying to all the crackheads, like, I think GPD's onto the whole switching the license plate thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Looks like
guys,
a new
you guys
trend now.
watch the news? Like, every bust is faulty license plate, or they're switching the license plate. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Major, what can you tell us about the Rsap program? We were just talking about this, and we talk about all these drug arrests. So where are we with the Rsap program?
Well, the Rsap program, we just graduated a few candidates a few weeks ago. We had a cycle ongoing. We kind of had to adjust operations during the COVID because we had to stop our volunteers coming in, but we were able to keep the program going. And normally there's about 15 to 17 people in the program. It's usually several months long. It's a drug rehab program. We usually have about 2 cycles a year for that. There's some strict criteria on how to get into it. You have to be within a certain time frame of your release. Your charges have to be around drug usage, or your crime itself may have drug may have contributed to the crime itself. But all the candidates are screened. You cannot have any disciplinary incidents while in prison. And so it's a pretty stringent screening process. And once you're in the program, it's an intensive drug program that starts out early in the morning by 5 o'clock in the morning. They get up, do PT, exercising, and then they have an entire day of classroom training. And we have caseworkers and other people that give them some classes and stuff. And this goes on for several months.
Wow. So you graduate around 70 or what, 30 people a year or so? Between 30 and 40? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, sometimes too, Chris, we have cases where they join the program. But you have to remember, these drug rehab programs are not easy. They are intensive programs.
Of course.
And so at times, we will have people, inmates themselves, drop out of it. They don't want to do it no more. They don't like the regimen. They don't, they don't really want to participate anymore because it is drug rehab is a difficult program, and it takes a lot of commitment on the side of the inmate to want to get better.
Right.
And we've had every cycle. We've had a few that drop out.
Right.
They just don't want to do. They don't want to do the work no more.
What about
they believe they're
a wait list, Major? So you have people who are dropping out, but are there people who are trying to get into this program, but you guys are only able to give 17 bodies a shot?
Yeah, the space is because again we're looking at classroom size and group components. So teaching them and putting them in groups, you don't want too big of a group that you can't manage properly. And so the average is around 17 people at a time.
Right.
And again, it's a program, so when you start it, they don't necessarily bring people in from the outside while this program is ongoing. Because it's like, for example, if you're going to college, you go to school, you start the program on a certain day. Students don't just come in 6 weeks later into the program and try to complete the courses. So it's basically the same format as that. They do it as a group. It's a group group activity.
Major, what's it like when you, because we're talking about this, we read these stories about these people who are busted for meth, and then you find out, oh, they were just busted last month, and you find out they were busted a couple months before that, then you find out they did a couple years in prison for meth. So what's it like on your end? Because there is that, obviously, there's that human side of it where you see these guys just, coming back in for the same stuff.
Recidivism.
Yeah. What's that
I mean,
like? Do you when do you give up on these people? When do you, not?
Well, you don't want to give up on anybody. It is frustrating to see some people with promises that they've done good in prison. They've tried to take advantage of whatever program is available, and for some get out and they do well for several months, and then life takes over, whatever issues take over of them, and they end up reverting back to the drug use. It's a very very hard habit to break, and they end up back in the system. I mean, we had one inmate that was released not too long ago after several years in DOC, but he is now back again. And
you're talking about Bruno Simmons?
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
it's just unfortunate, man.
We tried to help him. Even the judge, judge really tried to help him, and we gave him the program, but he walked away. He decided on his own, I'm going to walk away, and he went back to using again, and now he's back in our custody again. So remember, rehabilitation, it's again, it's easy to say rehabilitation, but one of the major component of it is the inmates themselves really got to want it. It is a struggle, but they have to be able, they got to make that decision that they want to be better and that they're tired of this lifestyle. And
right. Yeah.
That's probably the number one obstacle they have to get over in their life, is they have to make that conscious decision that I don't want to live like this no more. And that's pretty tough. It is hard to break these habits.
Yeah, everyone I know who's beat meth or who's beat anything from alcohol to cigarettes or whatever, it just comes down to that moment. At least from what I see and what I've gone through, it comes out of that moment where you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't. And you're right, it does. There does have to be that kind of like moment of clarity, I guess, is what they call it, right, Major? Right. But the temptation, I mean, it's great. You think people go to prison to get clean, but a lot of times there's more drugs inside than out.
Well, prison sometimes doesn't have the same effect of being scared of prison anymore.
Right.
Especially when you've been in here for 10 years. Yeah. You've been in here for 10 years, and again, the habit is very hard to break, and then you have to make a conscious decision to manage your issues for the rest of your life, because those kind of things just don't go away.
What kind of world we live in where people aren't even scared to go to prison anymore? I remember Scared Straight. I was talking to somebody and I was like, dude, Scared Straight, they came to my school in Inarahan and I was scared. And now I asked them, why don't we do that anymore? And they're like, there were issues with the inmates and the interacting with the...
Well,
it's supposed to be scary.
Antone, from your perspective, though, I understand, right? It takes you to make that initiative and to want to change your life. But at the same time, do you feel that we have the resources out there and programs to help people with addiction? Enough help?
No. We need more programs, more community type programs, to assist these people out there in the community. And it's, it goes more from just drugs. It's employment, stable home, all these other issues that come with that may contribute to why they use the drugs. I mean, even the drug dealers, drug users, there's different needs there. A drug user uses it for one reason, a drug dealer uses it for money. So there's different issues you need to address, other than, of course, we lock them up and we punish them for their crime by locking them up. But, it's got to be a multi-layer approach to try to address these issues. Right. Each person has different factors that may have led to some of them could be behavioral, mental health issues, and other issues that all need to be addressed simultaneously. And that is a really hard thing to do, because I got 630 people here, and 600 of them have different reasons for being here. Mm-hmm. And different needs, different levels of education, different family arrangements, different employment and job skills, high school, non-high school. Very few are with college degrees. I don't think we have anybody with that, but it is a tough thing to deal with.
It's tough because we sit here and we say, oh, it's got to be on you. You got to have this moment. You got to decide you want to stop. But then when they do decide, who knows if there's any service available? They can't get in a program
Right.
or this or that, So yeah, it's definitely frustrating, Major. But, I want to kind of end on a silver lining here and again go back to those people that we know. If you guys know people who beat meth, it can be done. It can be done, and it's so sad when you I know a lot of these guys who are getting busted, and just casually a few years back, dude, you were on such a good track, and now it's I don't even recognize you anymore. You turned into this ugly meth person, and it just makes me sad because there's still in some cases, some of these guys I really just think it's hopeless, but in some cases there's a good person locked inside, right? Yeah, so. Well, maybe we got to run. We're against the top of the hour, but it's always great talking to you. And we kind of wanted to change it up a little bit and talk about rehab and drugs. And, you're right there on the front line. So thank you, Major.
Thanks, Major. By the way, what time is public health going to be up there?
They're coming here around 9 o'clock just to scout out the area, make a assessment of the area, and look at an area where we can hold this test safely, because we were going to do it out in the front, but it's going to be a rainy week, I think.
Right.
So we're
Okay,
gonna be looking at other areas where we could set this up and the inmates can come down and do it. So
Okay, so
about
maybe
9 o'clock, they
9
should be
o'clock?
down.
Okay, so maybe we'll be there around 9:30. Thanks.
Okay.
He looks kind of like he's like, oh, no, wait. All right.
Thanks, Antone. Take care.
Okay, thank you, Major.
Okay, thank you.
You scared the guy. You're like, we'll be there at 9:30. He's like, oh, you do that and that, boy. Nah, pull that. Wait for public health to scope it out first, Bree. How about 10:30?